And then Thresh being secured for Snowflower. He had, he had some good plays on his own, but really Ignar just wrecking from that bot lane. Thresh is also just a safe first pick. I mean, jungle picks can be really important. We saw Bengi obviously really prioritizing that Rek'Sai, but once you have Rek'Sai and Gragas open, again, unless you have a very specific comp that you either want or really want to avoid Gragas for because of his ultimate, then, you can just pick whichever one is left over. Also, despite his ultimate being like that, Gragas has so much other utility and strength that at the same time, even if his ultimate isn't the greatest for you, you can still make it work. The body slam is really good. He's really tanky. So I can dig the Thresh pick. The rest of the open champions are pretty give or take, right? And all right, Janna being picked up. I mean, Janna has always come and gone in the meta, but generally lots of displacement is really good as a support. The biggest worry is that, I mean, you are pretty squishy and you don't have the best escapes yourself, but again, with that displacement, if you're quick on your fingers, then you can really make it work. The Lucian Thresh combo is going to be really solid. Jinx is open, but Jinx can be very open to ganks also. So Lucian going to get picked up. And, okay, Corki maybe. People avoiding Jinx quite a bit. I mean, gank 0, Jinx is open, but picks up Corki. He's played Corki a lot too after Jinx, so going for a little bit safer of a play here. I mean, it is the first set. This is still a best of 3, so I guess you have no need to go all out. And Fizz. Alright. Looks like it could possibly be a top Fizz. I mean, top Fizz was super popular for a while on solo queue. And we've seen it elsewhere, aside from solo queue also. It has its merits. It's alright against Maokai, but CV Max really seems to favor this Rengar in the top lane. I mean, if you take Rengar, I don't think you're looking to assassinate Maokai anytime soon in the lane. But at the same time, you can sustain a little bit. Oh, it goes back to the Fizz. I kind of like this. And then LeBlanc going here in the mid lane. The Morgana being banned out, the Cassiopeia and the Azir also being banned out. Gives a little open space for LeBlanc to work in that mid lane. We'll see what he goes for. Oh, the Kassadin. Will Moon lock it in? Well, I guess it's Boku, but for Moon. Or Cho'Gath. Okay, I mean, Cho'Gath generally, the biggest merit is good against assassins. Is pretty tanky, has a AoE silence. All right. And that can be good against both Fizz and LeBlanc. So I think that's a solid pickup. Yeah, so Thresh and Lucian are going to be really strong in lane, but aside from that, Winners has the Maokai, they have the Cho'Gath, they have the Gragas. Basically, they have a lot of ways to try to protect Corki. Even if Corki, well, I guess if Corki dies, yeah, they are missing out on a lot of damage. So it's really on CV Max and Mickey to dive in, take out that Corki, and then they can focus on the Gragas, the Cho'Gath, and the Maokai. I mean, LeBlanc and Fizz can also just both try to take out Janna anytime they want, but the rest are going to take some time to get rid of, so it's on Anarchy to really prioritize their targets well. Meanwhile, Winners, they just need to protect them quite well. They have a ton of disruption for when the Assassins come in, so if they play patient with that, I actually think Winners has a little bit of the edge where they can play reactionary and still come out on top in terms of team fights. Aside from that, they also have way better pushing power from Winners, so if they get a slight lead, they should have a lot more ease in pressuring all the lanes and slowly snowballing that into a win in this first set of best of 3 to determine who will be the 8th team joining Champion Summer 2015. Let's jump right into set number 1. Our hero, man in the red sweater, now cheering for both teams. He's a traitor. Who does he really support? Winner's on the red side. So, there's a K-pop group called Winner. In my personal opinion, they are probably my least favorite K-pop group that I've had in a long time. Starting from their name, not a fan of a K-pop idol group being called Winner. But there's a long story behind that, because they got picked within, like, their management company had a reality show where they had their, like, recruits, their trainees compete against each other, and the ones who won would get to debut after, like, a long series of competing against each other and with auditions within the management company, and then they won, so they're called Winner. Yeah, I also don't like their songs, but they're pretty popular in Korea. Maybe Winners is named after them, but they haven't been winning today, so they're going to need to change that. Otherwise, they're going to have to change their team name to Losers, and that'd be pretty sad. Or like Winners of Challenger only, and that'd be pretty sad. Meanwhile, Anarchy with this Fizz start in the top lane. Flash start for him. We see that tankier AD Fizz up top. Bruiser Fizz does have that smite. Now, Fizz top when he was first played, was with that Triforce when he quote-unquote got nerfed, because his damage was shifted a lot away, and people were like, oh, we can't play him as an AP burst assassin anymore. Some people actually still brought him back in mid lane. Uh-oh, Moon trying to just wait as long as possible, giving Potato time to catch up. Lyra blocks Potato. Mickey has to flash, and Lyra trying to chase through and get the kill on Moon, but both teams will back off. Both mid laners lost their summoner spells. Now, yeah, so when Fizz was first popularized in the top lane, you'd play like Triforce, Bruiser Fizz, and it could get pretty annoying. Sometimes going down to Blade of the Ruined King, and he'd do a ton of damage to you, while being pretty hard to catch, because you could still get the cooldown with Frozen Heart and things like that. Frozen Heart not going to be too useful for him this match if he does go that route, because there's practically no AD from Winners. Actually, yeah, there's really practically no AD from Winners. So you're going to need a lot of MR from Anarchy, most likely. Locket of the Iron Solari. Winners trying to pressure down here in the bot lane. The Lantern not going to matter, because Sang Yoon goes forward with the dash and the flash exhaust onto Snowflower. Lots of damage onto Thresh. No kills, but Summoners burned from both sides. But the most important thing is both Anarchy players lost their flash. And then everything will be quiet for a little bit. But look at this, Potato playing really aggressively here, and so did Lyra, actually ganking that mid lane. And both of them were super quiet against Tucson. One of the reasons was that they were always a step late. Tucson was always there first. He always found the opportunity first to gank and make things happen, whereas here, both Lyra and Potato looking for their own opportunities. So I think that really speaks to give credit to Tucson more than anything, for him to pick up jungling and have that level of respect, demand that level of attention from both Anarchy and Winners as a jungler. But this time, both teams playing a little bit more in their comfort zone. Obviously, also to note is that, yeah, for both teams, it's their first time in the booth. Not going to matter as much when both sides have that situation, but, you could argue that maybe that mattered a little bit against LZIM also. Now, Max, if he can get a lead, and he does have Smite, so it depends on how often he goes in jungle or how often he uses it to make things happen here in lane. But Max, if he gets a lead, he will be totally cool laning against his Maokai to the end of the game. And as tanky as Maokai might be, Max is going to slowly whittle him down with that percent damage, and Gank 0 does get flayed back. But a nice Howling Gale from Janna will save winners for now at that bottom lane. Gank 0 pretty low on resources though, both health and mana, while Snowflower is kind of low. Sangyun's completely fine, so he's trying to trade a little bit. Winners did see Lyra there, so they're just going to go ahead and get the crab. And Potato just hiding away from Lyra. Oh wow, Lyra doesn't see Potato. Potato might be coming back in here. Boku does get caught, but Potato comes in. And Boku is going to flash back out. Gangster puts on a lot of damage. Sangyun will go down. Snowflower tries to stay to pick up a kill. The Ignite ticking, but there's the shield coming in from Boku. Potato, can he get another body slam? He gets the slow body slam to kill Snowflower. And a 2-kill lead for winners. We'll give them a pretty comfortable advantage. 1K gold lead. Still a summoner lead for winners as Corki still has his flash. Let's watch this. Lyra, first of all, just walks all the way back. Boku baits perfectly, gets the slow, and Boku is in a little bit of trouble, so Boku has to flash backwards, but there's the 2-man stun from the body slam, and that alone pretty much gives all the time Gangster needs to kill Sangyun. A nice shield from Janna to save Corki from that Ignite, and then Potato gets the slow, gets the stun, and the kill against Snowflower. Meanwhile, mid's been pretty quiet, as you'd expect. Snowflower wanting to make something happen. I mean, he needs to make something happen somewhere, sometime. And oh, they do get the chain onto Moon, got the snare, and then there's a lantern for Lyra. They're going to pick up the kill against Moon. Nice gank, nice roam coming in from both Snowflower and Lyra. Lego shows up a second too late for any backup. Now, with Lego coming all the way down bot, though, Max is just going to be able to farm patiently and maybe try to waste at least a couple CS away from Maokai. Yeah, it looks like he'll have to waste half a wave or so. Potato will pick it up, though. So not wasted for the team. Someone's going to get all that, but... And so Maokai's just going to spend this time to go home since Potato's there anyway, and he wasn't going to get there in time. Max did go for the Skirmisher Saber, so... he's already going to start being pretty happy about dueling. And Lego should really watch out for that. He only has a Catalyst right now. I mean, it's not the worst, because Skirmisher Saber in and of itself is not the scariest item, but then the true damage from the auto attacks after the smite is what's going to matter a lot. Snowflower really trying to redeem himself. I mean, sure, he had a nice roam in mid lane, but really still trying to look for some angles here in bottom lane, too. Not going to find it just yet, but Sangyun is doing quite well in lane. So Lego coming in because Max is like, yo, I just want to farm. I just want some items. So Lego going in because he figures he needs to now, because Max is going to go home. He's going to come back with some new items with that teleport. Oh, but they still want to get the gank. Nope. There's the ward clear. So Max probably just going to push up one more wave once again and then go back home. Meanwhile, bottom lane, it's pretty quiet. I mean, winners, Corki can do a lot of damage. A lot of burst, a lot of poke, a lot of AoE damage. So with a good Howling Gale, yeah, maybe winners can put the pressure down in bottom lane, but at the end of the day, as long as there's not like 3 or 2 levels behind, Anarchy should feel comfortable trying to make something happen since they have Thresh Lucian. Meanwhile, Potato pings to go down, and Mickey is gonna get caught. Mickey wanted to go help Lyra gank bottom lane. He's gonna have to distortion out. Moon is still chasing. Meanwhile, Boku gets caught out by Snowflower. Winners chases Anarchy out from their own jungle. So Mickey and Lyra both will go home. The gank in bottom will not happen. Meanwhile, CV Max finally finding an opportunity to go home. He'll be able to teleport back into top lane after he buys some items. Probably upgrading to his, Cinder Hulk right there. And here we go. Cruiser Fizz. It's back. And he's already here. Lego's like, oh shoot. Lyra going in for a gank on Moon, forces the flash out from that guy. Cho'Gath will run home. No. Max can try to look for kills at some point. Your ult's on a relatively low cooldown. With your ult, then you can smite them and then auto them all the time. Your ult will also allow for more damage. Dodges the tower shot there to try to even out on the trade right under tower. And Gang Zero gets caught. Sangyun comes back in, but no mana for other skills. And Boku with a nice shove out with his ultimate against Snowflower. Battlecast Cho'Gath is so loud. He always sounds like he's creating a battle cry with his boombox shoulders. Yeah, dive probably not going to be wise against Maokai, even if it is early on in the game. So Lyra backs out. Meanwhile, we do see Potato coming down into the bottom lane, but nice lantern onto Sangyun will help him escape from that lane gank. Mickey losing out on some CS. Could be detrimental, we'll see. Not going to matter too much right now because they're pretty even, but if that keeps happening, Moon will start to catch up. Ooh, Dragon Ping's coming in. I wonder from which side. I'm going to assume Anarchy. Looks like maybe Snowflower just wants to go ward it at the very least. Yeah, Mickey just trying to force trades a little bit here on Moon, but he's Cho'Gath. He won't get bursted down too easily, at least not yet, until Mickey has more levels and more items. Snowflower getting that vision around Dragon, but Winners was prepared for that too. They're going to erase some of it. Winners successfully erasing most of the vision away from Anarchy. Anarchy still has that one ward right in front of Dragon, so they know if it happens, but not too much to set up aside from once it already happens, like having the knowledge afterwards. Winners is still ahead by 1,000 gold. Dragon has been leashed out. Anarchy sees this. Fizz is walking down here for now, doesn't have his teleport. Meanwhile, Lego does have his teleport. And LeBlanc just right there gets knocked up, silenced. Can't take the lantern. Oh, Moon blocks the lantern, eventually takes it to run out. The Knight right there not going to do much. Oh, and the Valkyrie over, but the clone going to help save Gang Zero. Meanwhile, Boku gets hooked back. There's the Fizz coming in, but Lego also right in the middle of the fight. Max gets the first kill onto Jaina, but his ult is now down, so he can't get that bonus damage. He needs to hightail it. He will run away with Playful Trickster, but Sangyun also got sacrificed afterwards. So Anarchy a little bit behind here now, or noticeably. I mean, before it was, 1,000 gold can be a lot in the very early phases of the game. Looked like Anarchy could try to stable out and contest this dragon, but they weren't positioned as well to contest it. Winners had already finished it. Winners now with a 2k gold lead and feeling pretty good. So Max did get a kill, but it's not going to help them too much. So this is what really mattered, was that Moon was like, hey, Mickey, go away. I'm going to silence you. I'm going to chase you away from this lantern. Mickey is forced to just walk completely out of the fight. CV Max comes back in. Boku gets caught, so CV Max goes in for the easy kill. Mickey's still doing damage from the side, but CV Max used his ultimate on a target that was going to die anyway. He doesn't have really any follow-up after that for now with the items he's got, so he also just needed to back out. Now, wow. Look at this bottom lane. Corki 202, Trinity Force, and Vam Center completed. Pretty big power spike for him. Meanwhile, Lucian still looking to finish that Infinity's Edge. Nice hook from Snowflower. Some damage onto Gank Zero. Not all the skills are going to connect, though, so you got to watch out. There's a teleport coming in from CV Max. CV Max wants the skill, and he's going forward, and he gets the ultimate onto Boku. He already used both the skills, but there's the smite. And Boku, will he live? The culling does go through, and the ignite from Snowflower will pick up that kill, but Potato finds CV Max under the tower, but CV Max, Playful Trickster, is out. Mickey goes in and picks up the kill. CV Max dodges the skill. Almost in time for the Lantern, but Potato will clean up that Fizz. Still 2 kills for Anarchy, so Anarchy really trying to fight back. Narrows the gold gap back to only 1,000 gold. They did stop the snowball a little bit from Winner, so I think Anarchy really can just regather their breath and, you know, go for their own objectives once again. Now Fizz working towards that Trinity Force. Tago's waiting for some potions. Doesn't have the finished phage just yet. Looking at Maokai, though, I mean, Fizz sure got the kill and 2 assists, but Maokai's doing okay. Has the Righteous Glory, which already makes him pretty tanky for the very early stages, and then is going for the Null Magic Mantle. Mickey putting down whatever harass he can to Moon, because you got to always try to harass down the Cho'Gath, otherwise he'll always be at full health after killing each minion. It's not denting the great monster too much, though. Meanwhile, Sang-Yoon gets caught out. Exhaust onto that guy, and another kill for Winners. And looks like Potato got the red buff. Yep, with his smite at the end. So no steal from Anarchy either. So Anarchy starting to lose their grip on the game one by one. CV Max kind of one hope for Anarchy at this point. I mean, LeBlanc's doing okay. But look at this, right? He can try to keep even with Lego. Look at this. In fact, he can just kill him, right? He was already at, what, maybe a little over a third health, and then while we were watching Thresh walk up, he's down to 100 health. Gets killed with that last auto attack. This is the strength of top lane Bruiser Fizz. Or just full on like 80 Assassin Fizz. Depends on which item path he chooses. We'll see. Potato trying to get whatever advantage he can during that downtime, but not going to find anything. Just get some really good vision on the bottom side of the map so that Gank Zero can feel safe. Winners, Gank Zero. This guy, pretty disappointing performance in the first match of the day, but he's the one that most people said keep your eyes on for Winners, and for good reason, because in the Challenger Series, he was really impressive. Over 30 kills in the 3-0 win against Zenix with only 3 or 5 deaths and a couple of assists to add on to that. Impressive KDA. Phage finished with the Brawler's Glove there for Fizz. So CV Max is still prepared to duel anyone 1v1 pretty well. Now, Moon putting down just all the vision he can, and spending time from Mickey and Lyra. Lane just shoving up to midpoint though, so Mickey's alright with that. Mickey also has that nicely large rod, so even though Mickey isn't going to kill Moon too easily, he should be able to start to burst down like Gang Zero or someone pretty well. I mean, the Triforce is going to help Gang Zero quite a bit. Lego tries to go in on CV Max. Does decent damage. CV Max takes the tower hit, but the minions are pushing up against Maokai's tower, and Lego's tower is pretty low on health. So we'll see what Max can do. If he can take that tower, it'll change the dynamic of the game quite a bit. Not going to happen anytime too soon because Lego is at full resources. He should stick around to clear it every time it pushes up. But as soon as he leaves that lane, it'll be pretty rough. Maokai does have, Winners does have his teleport though, and CV Max does not. So there we go. Yeah, starting the dragon. Anarchy does have vision, and they're going to see that, so they want to go in and clear that vision, but here comes Rek'Sai. So they weren't able to delete the ward. Anarchy's here. Teleport is ready for both top laners. We might see a grand old fight here as Lego comes in right in the middle of the enemy team, but Snowflower pulls Moon in. Lego goes in onto Sangyun. Sangyun's still free to do damage, and CV Max comes in with a ton of damage with Mickey as Mickey picks up a kill. Corki's still trying to do damage. He's at full health. He turns around, but he gets chained by Mickey, hooked by Snowflower, and dead by CV Max. Will Anarchy still follow? Sangyun goes through. The nice smite onto Sangyun for the slow, but I think the dive is coming from Anarchy for both Moon and Potato. They'll first get Moon, and now Potato playing Ring Around the Rosie with 4 members of Anarchy, and Max gonna get slowed by Boku. He says, no way, you come back here. You will pay for that. I think Max is just gonna pick up the kill here. Oh, wow, yeah, he'll still get it. Max is like easy mode. Fizz for the win, Fizz OP. It's funny because Fizz was completely dismissed when the nurse was first announced, the rebalance, as you could say. But top lane Fizz, it has its weaknesses, but in this matchup, I think it's fine. So, I mean, regardless of who it was, nice hook by Snowflower. Eventually, Cho'Gath really didn't connect with anything. You see Gangster doing a lot of damage, but Lego 77 got really bursted down by Mickey, and then CV Max showing up. Gang Zero had to just kite only a little bit. He gets hooked, chained, and everything. And then we saw the Ring Around the Rosie by Potato from Winners. Ooh, recurve bow on Corki. Recurve bow does have a new build path. That is also exciting. Now, CV Max doesn't have boots, is 4-1-4. He's, I think he can fight anyone. Yeah, sure, Cho'Gath is good against assassins, but if he can play full Trickster away from Cho'Gath's, like, silence, his Rupture, or even, you know, delay his ult a little bit by using Playful Trickster, then CV Max will be able to, I think, 1v1 anyone on the enemy team. The question is, will they ever meet him alone? Anarchy does now actually have the lead with 1,000 gold. My, how things change in League of Legends so quickly sometimes. Winners seem to be so ahead. They had that tower, they had the 2 dragons, but 2 towers down now for Anarchy, and Potato wanted to go in for the gank, but he's taking a lot of culling damage, and the minion wave also being cleared in the process. Uh-oh, here comes Lyra. The Rek'Sai's there. There's a slow from both players. Can Lyra get the knockup on? Oh no, Potato flashes away. Nice explosive cast bringing Mickey closer. Saboko had to use his ult, the Monsoon, to push him away, but a nice 3-man play, and then there's the box. As everyone gets caged in, Mickey tries to go in for a lot of damage, but the body slam comes in. Sangyun flashes forward to pick up 1 kill. Lyra picks up the 2nd, and then we have Snowflower cleaning up the fight in bottom lane. Anarchy may be climbing back into this. 12-7 kill lead. And now 3,000 instantly. 4,000. Anarchy clearly in the lead at this point. Sure, they don't have dragon stacks, but they're ahead in map management thanks to the towers they've taken. They have more kills. They have this massive threat in both Fizz and LeBlanc. LeBlanc is 2-0-6. We haven't been talking too much about Mickey's LeBlanc, but it's getting really scary. And 2-3-7 for Illusion. Not the end of the day. Pretty decent score considering he's been part of a ton of kills. Now, Blade of the Ruin King finished for Gang 0. 4-3-3. A standard positive score there. Oh, nice steal by Snowflower. I mean, those things start to matter a little bit, especially for junglers in terms of experience. Potato is still a level behind Lyra. Lego is also a level behind CB Max. And Boku is actually 2 levels behind Snowflower, so that's a pretty big discrepancy, because Snowflower does have a 2nd level of his ultimate. Thankfully, he's not LeBlanc or anyone, so it's not going to matter as much, but the box is still going to hurt. It's still going to slow. And Max, wow, look at that clear. Smites the Grom, gets that buff, he clear like crazy. We have Lego going in, and Moon trying to follow up. He will get the knock-up Rupture, but Sangyun gets caught out by 3 people. Snowflower also caught out by Moon and Lego 77. The bloodbath is beginning, guys. Anarchy versus Winners. They're fighting for their lives, and we're getting back closer to a tied-up situation here as we reach the 26-minute mark. Winners decreasing the gold gap to only 1.5k all of a suddenly, and only 30 seconds left until Dragon. Will Winners get their 3rd one? They are all going home. They'll be back in time. They have some wards there, so I think they're comfortable just getting some new items and coming back. So here we go. Snowflower got a little too eager. Sangyun had to run away, but he gets slowed, he gets stunned. Yeah, pretty straightforward kill onto Sangyun. Nice skill layering there from Winners. Meanwhile, CV Max is still growing, slowly but surely. He's getting prepared for his Frozen Heart for that cooldown. Already has that MR too. He's getting pretty tanky at the same time, and with the smite, he should be pretty good to go. Mickey tries to go in for some damage, but Snowflower is left alone as the enemy team comes in. 4 versus 1, but CV Max picks up 1 kill. He does get the Blade of Ruin King on him, so Lyra goes in all alone. CV Max cannot re-engage. Anarchy a little too eager, and that looks like it's going to be the Dragon for Winners. A nice chain in coming in from Potato to send the kill right to Gang Zero. Gang Zero gets a triple kill, gets the double buff. Will this be Gang Zero's time to shine? He does have a long way to becoming the next depth, but will he show us at least why some people have been saying that about him coming into the promotion tournament? Now, it's it's kind of unfortunate that Mickey was talking about, I told you in his profile, he's like, hey, if Snowflower plays well, we can win. Snowflower getting caught out a little bit, but then again against IM, it was really just IM running all around the map against Anarchy. So we'll see if Anarchy can pick things back up, regroup a little bit. Viz is still pretty strong, has that Spirit Visage. And a 207 LeBlanc. Would rather have some of those 7 assists on his kills, but regardless, LeBlanc does have 3 core items: the Void Staff, the Merlinomicon, and the Death Cap. Well, it's kind of as I expected. As soon as they're left to their own methods here, both Anarchy and Winners, they're going to become aggressive. They're going to keep going back and forth and try to just fight to the very end. And it's only the first set. I mean, they have to win a best of 3 here to get into Champion Summer 2015. And Max still protecting his tower. Decent damage coming in from that red buff and the Corki. Lots of magic damage, and of course, pretty decent physical damage too. Meanwhile, Mickey's been splish pushing that bottom. Is he gonna get this tower? Potato shows up, has the explosive cask. Yeah, just forces Mickey to go away. And Mickey's like, nope, I'm back. Oh, wow. Mickey might have committed too much to this. He still has another distortion. He flashes over the wall. Potato trying to follow through. No explosive cast, though. The slow goes on to Mickey. But Mickey drawing a lot of attention from Winners, gets that tier 2 in the bottom, and will he continue to shove that bottom lane? Oh, he went back in to check on Potato, and Potato made him pay for it, so. Meanwhile, Max takes a lot of damage from Gang Zero, but Max turns things around. A nice Howling Gale and a nice Blade of the Ruined King, though. And Max's Smite was also not activated earlier. Got a little over-eager, overconfident, I think, in that matchup. Corki does a lot of damage, especially when he's just got the Triforce and the Blade of Ruined King. Not to mention right now, he also has a VF Sword and a Pickaxe. And you don't have a finished tier 3 armor item just yet for Fizz. Mickey goes in on Moon, though. There's the hook, the draw into the box, and Moon will die. Leo took a lot of damage, but Mickey has a lot of his own to dish out. There's a chain onto Lego. Lego also takes about a quarter to a third of its health. Meanwhile, Mickey goes in once again onto Potato and Lego. Potato will body slam out, though. All right, well, we got a little bit more time until Dragon comes up. Baron is already up. Lots of vision from Winners. The top. Oh, wow, Mickey. I mean, yeah, I said, you know, 207, sure, he wants more kills, but it doesn't matter. He hasn't died. He's been farming well, and he's been part of 9 kills. Now he's already at 407 since I last said that, and he has another Amp Tome getting prepared. Has that Void Staff for Massive Burst along with the Death Cap, and the Merlinomicon for obviously some AP, but cooldown and mana regen. This mana regen will mainly be coming from this blue buff, though. Dragon up in 1:40. And Anarchy back up by 2K against Winners. And Max chooses not to clear that pink ward. I think he decided he doesn't have time for it. He needs to already come down and help his team. Also just get better vision of his stuff before he leaves that side of the map. Teleport is up for CV Max. Oh, wow. His port back home does get disrupted by Boku's Howling Gale on the Baron. Potato walks by a ward, and they're going to have to use another lens to clear that out. Winners securing vision around the Baron, too, and this makes the next Dragon fight really interesting. And we've seen this happen multiple times in the past, where if one team has the advantage in vision on both sides, they can play the game of, hey, which one are we going for, and which one will you either go for and or contest. Becomes a very intricate dance. We've seen that dance go on for long times with certain teams, but doesn't look like we'll see that with Anarchy versus Winners. Max goes back in, he gets his ultimate onto Moon. Moon gets hooked back, Mickey comes in, Moon is still at half health. Boku with a nice heal. Potato does use explosive cast to zone out the enemy team. Snowflower taking tons of damage. Potato goes in, Snowflower flashes out, but a nice missile over the wall, and here comes Lego. Chasing down CV Max, there's the exhaust, there's the slow from Janna. Gang Zero trying to do as much damage as he can. The chains from Mickey keeping Lego at bay. Potato comes in, 2-man stun. Max, Playful Trickster's out, but 4-man Distortion is going to scare Winners for a little bit. Chain goes down, Mickey gets 1 kill, Mickey's still alive. Can he go back in? The second Distortion helps pick up a second kill. Lyra, Sangyun, and Mickey, are they going to clean up the fight? Potato runs away over the wall, and wow, that last hit from Rek'Sai not picking up the kill on Boku. Winners doesn't look too happy. Mickey smiling, laughing, pinging that dragon. And Anarchy wins that fight. It looked to be a little bit tough, but Mickey kiting really well with Sangyun throughout that fight. I think also just so much focus being put down on Max because of how much he can do for Anarchy in those team fights right now. Watch this. I mean, Anarchy plays the extended team fight really well. There's the culling from the side. Mickey on the right side of the screen. Sangyun on the left side. We're going to see them funneled in. First of all, Mickey gets saved a little bit by Thresh. And here's Max. Snowflower gets out, and Sangyun's still at full health. Snowflower does eventually die, and they decide to chase Max just because he's also behind and also he's such a threat. Mickey's at half health, but look at how much damage he dishes out from here on out. He goes behind the wall over to the Krug. Sangyun also dashes out, goes back in, 3-4-man distortion, blinks back out. Sangyun still also kiting in and out of the brush that Winners does not have vision of. And then Mickey goes in with another distortion, and then the second distortion from his ult for the double kill. And then they go ahead, they take the dragon, they take the blue buff, and whoa, what just happened here? Looks like Boku gets caught out a little bit, trying to help secure vision. And Anarchy starting this Baron. Max pretty confident that he can help bring it down. I mean, Fizz does have some good damage, but there's a teleport for the Maokai, so Snowflower just goes right for it. Mickey gets a chain on him, Sangyun onto him also with that. Fizz ultimate, Mickey is going to get zoned out only for a little bit. Another chain onto Potato. Potato will die. Sangyun still chasing through. Mickey dodges the knockup, blinks over, gets the double kill, and there's the ace for Anarchy. And will they go for the Baron? I mean, Sangyun is at pretty decent health. Lyra should be able to tank it for a little bit. It's a little iffy, but no one's there, so I think they can just go for it. Yeah, they can juggle the damage pretty well. Actually, they're just really strong. Never mind. Not too worried at all. They'll pick it up. Wow, well, all of a sudden, I mean, it was really back and forth for the first 25 minutes. So, yeah, we saw from right here, the teleport coming in, I mean, a little bit too far ahead for Lego. And with Maokai down, Winners was basically running away. First of all, Lyra puts really good focus onto Gank Zero, knocks him up and just stays onto him. Look at Mickey, dodges a knockup, and then flashes forward to make sure they kill that Corki, because Sangyun was already on to Moon. Now a Baron buff onto Anarchy. 9-0-10 was 2-0-7 not too long ago. He's part of 19 kills out of 23. That's pretty crazy. And that Cho'Gath is starting to look as tiny as ever. I mean, he went for the mass AP because he's like, all right, well, you know, I'll get health from my ultimate. From Feast. I'll get my Feast stacks. And then I can also burst people down. But it doesn't matter because now LeBlanc can also burst you down. And Sangyun can just take you down with his Youmu's and his Blade of the Ruined King on top of Last Whisper and IE. Meanwhile, CB Max just trying to trade with Lego 7-7 under the tower, abusing the power of Playful Trickster while you go for that trade. And here's the buffed up cannon minion. Lots of damage from Mickey. Tried to stay as long as possible to get that second tick from the chains. Meanwhile, what happened here? CB Max has basically been diving this tower repeatedly using Playful Trickster. Brought down Lego 77, and here we go. They go for the dive past the inhibitor. Lyra tanking. Uh-oh. He took a lot of damage from those towers. That was a little unfortunate, but they get the top tier 2. They get the inhibitor in mid. Anarchy starting to look like they'll secure this win in game 1. You never know, but they are now at a 10k gold difference, and Gank Zero gets bursted down by Mickey. Mickey, I believe now at around 11-0 and 11 or something like that on his kill score, and Anarchy will be securing the win in set number 1 despite a decent start by Winners. In this best of 3, Anarchy is 1 game away from entering Champion Summer 2015. Well, that was a much more interesting game from both teams here than they showed us against IM. But Mickey really showing us why that, you know, he's known as Mickey God. And Max pulling through with that Fizz. I think, you know, Max drawing so much attention early, and LeBlanc, I mean, 207 is a really scary KDA, but it's also a little deceiving. And they felt that, you know, Winners felt that they had to do something about the Fizz, which is true. I mean, because if you focus so much on LeBlanc, and let's say LeBlanc did get away with distortion, then that Fizz was going to wreck your team one by one. So at one point, as soon as Anarchy got that, like, 3k gold lead to turn things around, it looked really dangerous for Winners. Mickey's like, yeah, that's right, my time to shine in the camera. A very different facial expression than we saw from any of these players against LZIM. Meanwhile, Winners not looking too happy. I mean, they want revenge on Anarchy, and they also want to get into Champion Summer 2015. But they are actually 1 game away from being knocked back down into the Challenger circuit. here in Korea. So we'll be taking a quick break, guys, and then we'll be back with set number 2 of Winners versus Anarchy.